Performance in Game 6, scoring a total of 16. But more than that, it is the 4 small and 1 big combination of Tropang Giga. Usually, it's Troy Rosario who starts the 4 spot and Kip Montalvo, the energy guy, who also starts out for Coach Chotres. And what do I see because of this lineup? TNT wants to establish their up-tempo, quick game because they feel like that is how they can win against the vaunted tall players and slow-paced game of San Miguel.
Junmar Fajardo gets the stop there. Well, pinakita natin, Coach, na yung performance ni Motao Tua. We know that nakikita natin rin dito, San Miguel tried to go to Junmar. It's something that they have tried to do early in games in this series. Pero several times din nakita natin at the end of the game, just looking at the numbers, parang mas maganda yung naging production ni Motao Tua. And it speaks of the depth as well of SMB, but talk about that dynamic then with their bigs.
Well, the other one is the unselfishness of Junmar Fajardo too, because every time he gets the ball in the post, he gets double teamed. So he's not forcing his shots, he's looking at his open teammates, and that is precisely the reason why Marshall Lassiter was able to shoot from the outside. Whereas, if it is Motao Tua, it's single coverage. So if it's mano-a-mano against Motao Tua, chances are because of his strength and because of his height, he can score at namasahin na yung malalaking big man ng TNT dahil kay Junmar Fajardo. Ganun nakakatakot yung frontline combination nitong San Miguel.
Well, these two teams, you know, they've had personnel changes over the last few conferences and tournaments. San Miguel added a lot of players. Ang TNT, di ba, nagka-change with Coach Chot returning to the helm of the Tropa. Do you see a new look for these two teams compared to how you saw them in previous years?
San Miguel just got better depth because they're still playing with their best 5, the 5 that brought them a lot of championships together. Now add 3 players, all coming from the bench. That's Terence Romeo, who has experience playing off the bench under Coach Leo Austria. Motao Tua also, and CJ. Those 3 players can actually start out in any team in the PBA. Now for TNT, their prize rookie is such a game changer. Mikey Williams, he can do a lot of things on offense, and there is such tremendous comfort level in the eyes of Coach Chotres. That is why he's getting a lot of minutes here in this conference.
Definitely true, Coach, especially ngayon Mikey Williams. Pero something din na nakita natin, no? One could say that the worst quote-unquote worst shooting games ni Mikey Williams have come against San Miguel.
And the reason for that is he's still trying to size up the defense of Chris Ross. Chris Ross by far is the best perimeter defender in the league. But every now and then, Mikey Williams will still be able to get his open looks. Another point of attack for Tropang Giga is a pick and roll play involving Junmar Fajardo. Expect that many options for TNT. Attack the defense of Junmar, let the guy who set the screen slide to the basket because TNT feels like Junmar will be slow in his recovery.
You did mention, Coach Archie, that here in Game 7, kung ano man yung naging kwento in Games 1 to 6, somehow he set that aside already. But from the success that these two teams got dun sa, again, TNT Games 1-3-5 pinanalo, San Miguel 2-4-6, what do you expect from them to try and capitalize on dito sa Game 7?
Oh, what is so obvious with the trend that we have in the finals is the team that lost in their previous game would make a fantastic adjustment. That's why they would be able. Anyway, so it's very important that Ryan Reyes stays with Arwind Santos, especially in the outside, because Arwind loves to take shots from the three-point area.
Yeah, that's what we saw, definitely. Of Arwin's attempts came from beyond the arc. He hit 3 of those. Etong San Miguel, well, hitting their first one from deep, and it's Alex Cabagnot. And that's what you worry about. Kung kalaban mong San Miguel, their scoring can come from many different producers, and you never know who's gonna have the hot hands in any given day. Pero Jason Castro trying to take charge early on, umatake sa depensa ng SMB, and he's gonna head to the free throw line.
And look at this again, Ryan Reyes shooting from the outside, failing to block out was Junmar Fajardo. He allowed Kelly Williams to get the offensive rebound. Now, Alex Cabagnot also a fantastic performer, especially in Game 7 situations. He is Mr. Clutch. You cannot leave him wide open because he can knock those shots in at any given time.
May nire-review dito yung ating mga referees from that last attack. But they just ruled it a regular foul on Junmar Fajardo. Nakita natin, Coach, yung pagpasok ni Kelly Williams. There was immediately a positive impact that he made. He did miss the first 4 games of this series because he was out due to health and safety protocols. And while napakaganda nung ginawa at nilaro ni JP Eram in the first 4 games, in wins, both in wins and losses, Kelly brings something different to TNT.
Been there, done that. He's got the experience. He has won a lot of championships in the PBA. He's strong enough to go up mano-a-mano or body against body, especially when Junmar Fajardo tries to bully his way inside. And more importantly, his ability to put the ball down and attack, going for his layups, which actually, in reality, that is a weakness of Junmar Fajardo, defending guys coming from the perimeter.
And SMB becomes a different team when even Chris Ross can hit outside shot.
And usually, pressing and playing his best when the game is on the line. That is Chris Ross at his finest.
At syempre sa depensa rin, maasahan, he forces Castro to a miss there. SMB off to the other side. Ryan Reyes ang bumabantay kay Cabagnot. Junmar humihingi ng 3-second violation si Kelly Williams. Junmar gets rid of Pagoy, at eto na naman yung nakita natin kanina, but this time Ross could not finish. Williams, Junmar nakaharang sa kanya, decides to step out from the right elbow. Mikey drains the jumper.
And look at the way he read the situation. He didn't want to attack Junmar Fajardo because chances are he will be blocked. So what he did was he stepped out, the defense of San Miguel was not ready, and he pulled off from the elbow.
Eh, yun yung laro rin ni Coach RG ni Mikey Williams. He can attack the basket, he can shoot even from afar, a step or two behind the three-point line, and that's why he's such a deadly scorer. In fact, as a rookie, in second shot, scoring, averaging 18.4, only Terence Romeo ang mas mataas ang average sa kanya when Romeo averaged 19 over a span of 6 games.
That one. What makes him such a lethal scorer is he can actually just tell his teammates to give him the ball, get out, because he's got that great ball handling and finishing close to the basket.
Ryan Reyes matinik din, lumipid as a perimeter defender. Castro will miss there. Sorry miss for Jason. Cabagnot will fire away from deep. Mintesian, pero Junmar alone underneath. Ryan Reyes lang nakaharang. Junmar was looking for a foul. He gets the ball back. Oh, player slipping. And Ryan Reyes looking hurt dahil nadulas siya dun sa isang wet spot on the floor. We hope Ryan is okay. But we did see him slip. And mukhang baka na-stretch yung kanyang leg.
There might be a hyperextension. Let's look at that once again. Just everybody fighting for that loose ball. And Ryan Reyes slipping while trying to defend Junmar Fajardo. It didn't look good. He's holding on to his groin muscle. And we just hope will be okay.
He indeed has been a weapon for TNT. We'll be right back. Ryan Reyes, we saw him go down and we'll try to get a quick update on him soon. Pero ito muna yung ginawa niya, Coach. You were talking about such a great performance from Ryan Reyes in Game 6.
Yes, 16 points all coming from the bench. 9 rebounds also. Issued 4 assists and 50% from the field. And that is exactly the reason why Coach Chot started him out. But now, the adjustment of these two coaches. Pumasok na si Motaw Tua, nag-match up na rin itong TNT. That was the cue for them to put in Troy Rosario. Good game so far for San Miguel. They're hitting from the outside. Junmar Fajardo is also getting his looks underneath the basket.
Do you feel that may nakuha, Coach, na positives in TNT from that small lineup?
Things you will actually get after a loss because marami kang pwedeng ma-adjust dito eh. So yun ang ginagawa ngayon ni Coach Shot. Nag-a-adjust din siya dito sa lineup ni Coach Leo Austria.
You know, in the wins of TNT, mabilis aangat yung mga production nila JP Aram and Troy Rosario and how they were able to stretch the floor as big men. Yun rin talagang naging mahalaga. But here's SMB. Game tied up at 10 apiece. Salamat po sa inyong pagtutok dito sa TV5. It's Game 7 of the semifinals between San Miguel and TNT. Tautua pumasok na rin and he's gonna be whistled for a violation traveling on Mo.
So now they could not take chances because Mo Tautua usually comes in with an instant offense. So the moment he got the ball, automatic double team on him, forcing him to turn the ball over.
Ito yung magandang galaw ni Troy Rosario sa ilalim. First possession, pagpasok ni Troy, he scores. And on the very next one, depensa naman sila, he forced a violation on Tautua. Williams dancing on Perez. Mikey, naghahanap na mapapasahan. Iiwan sana kay Era pero picked away by SMB. Counter steal naman para kay Castro. Jason hinarangan ni Lassiter and that's gonna be a foul on Marcio. This lineup of San Miguel on the floor, Coach, is something na mas nakikita rin natin More than any point of the conference, dito natin nakikita in the semifinals against TNT na pinagsasabay ni Coach Leo si Junmar and si Tautua.
Yes, because again, that is a huge advantage for San Miguel. Ang feeling niya, mahihirapan mag-match up itong tropang Giga sa dalawang player na to. And that is what brought them a lot of precious victories also in this conference.
That might be something that stings San Miguel though. Dalawang foul na on Lassiter. 2 quick ones on him. So that's 2 fouls on Marcio, 2 fouls on Junmar so far. Montalvo papasok na rin. Mikey Williams lalabas muna. And for the Beermen, it's Romeo checking in. One thing that has been said about these two teams, at kitang-kita rin in this series, the lineups of these two teams very deep. Incredible talent on both sides. 7 on the shot clock para sa TNT. Oh, Jason Castro holding on to his foot. He might have twisted his ankle. We didn't exactly see, pero dun sa drive niya, coach, where he fell down and he just grabbed onto his left foot.
There's an official suspension of play.
And it's always a good sight to see. We saw already Ryan Reyes limping on the way to his bench, and now Jason Castro.
Jason expressing his frustration there. Oh, he did step on the foot of Mo Tautua. Look at that left foot ni Castro. Landing on the right foot of Tautua.
2 free throws for Glenn Tobonte.
I don't think Jason has been subbed out really, or it looks like he's still on the floor. We'll see kung papalitan ni Coach Shot dito. Well, you know, Jason, as long as kaya niya, Coach, na maglaro pa dyan, knowing it's a Game 7, he will try to stay out there and fight for TNT.
Oh, he will just shake it off. It's a big opportunity for him to get back to the finals again and win another championship. The last one they won was way back in 2015. So medyo matagal na yan. At itong San Miguel, alam mo naman, pagdating sa All-Filipino Conference, talagang dominated nila itong liga.
Okay, so Castro has been subbed out. And Perez hits from the corner. That's the third three-pointer ng SMB. Eramo has also series has entered. Rosario spinning to the baseline. Andun niya yung sinabi mo, Coach, no? Ramdam na ramdam yung interior defense ng SMB pagsabay si Fajardo at si Tautua.
Yes, it's for TNT to really break those two big players and tall players. And this is going to be very dangerous if you're at Tropang Giga, because that's already the fourth three-pointer of San Miguel. 2 from Perez, 1 from Chris Ross, 1 from Alex Gabagnot. And itong si Junmar Fajardo is just playing decoy basketball.
We'll see here, San Miguel, like Coach RG said, tapping into the right buttons early in this game. And kung magtuloy-tuloy yung hulog ng mga tira mula sa labas ng Beermen, that could definitely be a scary sign for TNT. The Beermen up by 4. The long wait is over. Relive the excitement once more as the 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021 returns this November 7 to 30. Tumakbo tungo sa tagumpay at kasaysayan sa ang panig ka man ng mundo. Tayo na magsama-sama at makasaya sa 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021. Registration po ay from October 4 to 30, 2021. Visit www.run711.com for more details. Coach RG, it was no secret na nasaktan din talaga ng injuries yung TNT at some point of that series against Barangay Nebra. Wala si Jason Castro. There was a stretch of it, wala rin si Ray Parks. That one. And even in this series, diba, yun yan, Kelly Williams missed a handful of the first few games. And they've really been bothered by that.
Yeah, but they forget about everything. They will just focus here in Game 7 and how to defend the three-point shooters of San Miguel. That will be the 5th three-pointer of San Miguel. And the offensive flow of things, they're shooting so well with great accuracy from beyond the white line.
And they say that San Miguel is deadliest kapag nag-shoot yung mga tira sa labas.
Yes, because that will again free up the operating space of Junmar Fajardo. Tentative na ngayon double teaming scheme nila. So what they did is they established their outside game first, and after that they will look for Junmar Fajardo underneath, and the defensive coverage or the help side defense will now have doubts whether they're gonna go or not. Incredible shooting here for the Beermen.
That's right. And you see this one is coming from Terence Romeo. Yung mahirap pa coach ngayon siguro for the defense of TNT, it's one thing that three-point shots are falling from one guy. But right now for SMB in the first quarter, that's 4 guys already that have hit three-pointers. So you have to be worried about several areas of the floor.
And the other thing is, this is why Junmar Fajardo is the best player in the league, because he is not forcing his shots. He's allowing his teammates to get the rhythm going, and he will just take it upon himself. If he does not see a double team, then that is his cue for
San Miguel now up by 7 points, approaching the 2-minute mark ng ating first quarter. Inupo muna ni Coach Leo si Junmar. Caruela pumasok para kay Coach Chot. Pugoy, who has not scored in this. Caruela iwan kay Eram. That paint is clogged. There were 4 red shirts to dumidepende TNT.
And even if you take out Junmar Fajardo, Arwin Santos is there. Alam naman natin that he is a shot. Good stop for TNT, but they've stopped scoring here. Only 12 points to show thus far in the ballgame.
How about Kelly Williams? That's vintage Kelly na atake towards the basket.
That is really one of his strengths. Going downstream. 14 points for TNT, but still San Miguel is up by 5.
Parang yun naman coach yung dynamic ng bigs ng TNT. No? Rosario and Eram, they have that possibly a more consistent outside shot than Kelly Williams. Pero si Kelly very comfortable putting that ball down on the floor and attacking.
Yes, we've seen it countless of times here in the first quarter. Look at him again in the secondary break, not waiting for the defense to settle. And Mo Tautua, sensing that he could not stop a rampaging Kelly Williams, just allowed him to go for his layup.
Kelly brings TNT a little bit closer, pero yun yung 9-0 run kanina ng San Miguel allowed them to get a 7-point lead. Eram susubukang bawasan yan. The first free throw is a miss. Nagpapasalamat po PBA kay Governor Dennis Delta Pineda sa kanyang pagtanggap sa amin dito sa Pampanga. Mabuhay po kayo, Governor Pineda. And it's been a while, Coach RG, that the PBA has been in Bacolor. It's something that from you guys. Siyempre, it's a big sacrifice for these players, even the coaches, management, organization to enter the bubble, be separated from their families. Pero pag pumasok ka na dyan sa bubble, you want to stay for as long as you have to win that championship.
Oh, professional basketball, the PBA gives us normal. That if you keep on playing, you stay longer, that means you have an opportunity to win a championship. And these teams right here, playing in Game 7, gustong-gusto nila na maglaro pa. Dahil yung uuwi, wala na ng tsansa makapanalo ng isa pang kampyonato.
Lalo na nasa semis ka na rin. You've come this far. Game 7 pa, and it's also been said that the best players come up big in games like this. Romeo trying to provide para sa San Miguel. A smaller defender, and Mo gets fouled. There were 5 TNT players na kailangan magtulong-tulong. Mapigilan lang si Big Mo.
And you see the maturity of Terence Romeo. Before, if he sees a switch, that means a big man is covering him. That is his timing to tell everybody to get out of the way. But he saw his teammate Mota Utua against a smaller defender, and he was such a willing passer.
Yung binanggit mo rin, Coach, earlier is that San Miguel, really they have maybe 8 players who could really be legitimate superstars. The number 1 option of another team maybe if hindi sila magkakakampi, no? But all of them have bought into the system of Coach Leo Austria.
Oh, the magic of Coach Leo Austria. One of the best coaches in the PBA right now. And you take a look at his credentials in Game 7. It's actually 4-0 compared to Coach Shot Reyes na 4-3 ang kanyang kartada. But those things again don't matter. You forget about history and just focus on winning Game 7.
Kelly Williams missing in San Miguel, gang rebounding. It was CJ Perez who was able to secure yung possession para sa SM. Last 10 seconds ng first quarter. Romeo has Heruela on. Terence gagamitin yung pick mula kay Tautua. Fall away jumper. That's smooth for Terence.
Now you don't step out after the ball screen. You allow that little space for Terence Romeo to do his magic, lull his defender, and shoot that perimeter jumper. Good start for San Miguel. An 8-point advantage for them at the end of 12.
Balik tayo sa Dabsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. Game 7 nga po ng TNT at SMB. But let's take a look at this. Coach, na-launch na yung commemorative stamp featuring the one and only, the living legend, Sonny Jaworski. And this is something, you know, that's special, I know, for a lot of basketball fans.
Oh yes, the face of the PBA, the Big J. And this is a nice photo. We see Dodo Jaworski, of course, our commissioner, Willie Marshall, and Don Ramon Fernandez, who's also in that photo.
And also current Barangay Ginebra players, Chapit Aguilar, Mark Aguiwa, L.A. Tenorio, and that kind of tells us talaga, no, solidifies na yung impact ni the Big J extended generations of basketball.
Yes, and you might be cheering for the other team, but we have reality that it was really Big J who grew the PBA and brought the PBA to where it is at this point.
Unfortunately though, sa mga fans ni Senator Jaworski, yun syempre yung chinicheer nila Barangay Ginebra. They were dethroned by TNT in the quarterfinals. TNT being the #1 seed, Ginebra won in the playoff that allowed them to get into the #8 seed. And I felt, Coach, na dun din tumaas lalo yung intensity ng other teams. Okay, wala na yung defending champs. It's an even play
season na.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, here's TNT. That's actually their first three-pointer, and it comes from Kelly Williams.
A critical three-pointer. Every time you go up against San Miguel, especially Junmar, you want to try and shoot from the outside every now and then to keep him away from the paint for his secondary defense.
Nagbinte si Romeo, but Fajardo thought he was fouled. It's now for TNT. They're off and running again. Williams trying to get some from underneath. Miss. Hey, Coach RG, we talked about the success of San Miguel from the three-point line. Meron silang 5-3 nung first quarter, but at the same time, hindi naman basta-basta nagpaiwan itong TNT.
A lot of free throws from TNT in the first 12 minutes. A traveling violation was called against Junmar Fajardo. But San Miguel, 5 out of 11 from the three-point area so far. TNT, it is actually TNT who loves to shoot from the outside, especially from the three-point range. But the game of San Miguel is game 7. Nauna yung outside shooting nila more than their establishment of their inside presence.
However, now the usual suspects para sa tropang Giga, unti-unti na rin nag-aambag. Kelly Williams earlier with a three-pointer, tapos ito si R.R. Pugoy naman, his first bucket of the game. Tatlo na lang inahabol ng tropa. Etong San Miguel, kabagnot off the screen from Fajardo. Williams collects the board. Mikey, tuloy-tuloy, and that's going to be a turnover on him.
Now it's critical for TNT. Yes, they want to push the ball. You'll be susceptible into making a lot of mistakes. You have to stay in control because of San Miguel's ability to pounce on every mistake that you commit by scoring from points from turnovers.
Absolutely correct. And something, that's actually something that TNT has done very good. Pero dun sa mga panalo coach ng SMB in this series, games 2, 4, and 6, you'll see that they dominated points off turnovers.
Tama yan.
Williams, dire-diretso na naman. Arwin Santos, hindi na napigilan si Kelly.
The quickness of TNT, especially Kelly Williams, becoming an issue here. A 7-0 run for TNT, forcing Coach Leo to call a quick timeout.
Game 7 sa pagitan ng TNT Tropang Giga at San Miguel Beermen. John sulit po kasama si Coach Ryan Gregorio nag-aatid ng aksyon mula sa Dabsu Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. In the elimination round, it was Mikey Williams doing a lot of damage para sa TNT. Dating naman dito sa semifinals, it's the other Williams, Kelly Williams, na nagpapakitang gilas dito as you take a look at his onto the official motorcycle of the PBA. We mentioned it earlier, Coach RG, pagbalik ni Kelly Williams in Game 4, ramdam na ramdam agad, yung, in Game 5 rather, ramdam agad yung kanyang pagbabalik and how big an impact he can make for the tropa.
And you in Game 7, a total of 11 points for him. And not only that, he's playing on extended minutes here in the first 2 quarters. And is also defending Junmar Fajardo. So even if it's Junmar being defended by Kelly, Junmar Fajardo was still opting to make a pass.
Bakit laging bumubukas, Coach, yung gitna for Kelly? It's something that we've seen even in previous games.
He is just outrunning Junmar. Plain and simple. It's a racetrack, it's a running game, and it's part of the game plan of TNT. Just make sure that when they get the ball, they will push before Junmar even settles down on defense.
But Terrence Romeo pretty much tells us, abay, kaya ko rin gawin yun as he gets an end-one opportunity attacking the defense of Mikey Williams.
Explosive points coming off the bench once again for Terrence Romeo. Total of 7 minutes and 36 seconds so far. He's 3 out of 5 from the field and a total of 7 points. Again, a luxury. Maski sinong bunutin ni Coach Leo Austria is capable of scoring at every given night.
Isipin mo na lang, Coach, yung last 2 pickups nila, Terrence Romeo and CJ Perez. Romeo was a 3-time PBA scoring champion. Si CJ Perez, the only player who led the league in scoring in his first 2 years in the PBA. These really are supreme in the playoffs, but they come off the bench para kay Coach Leo. Mikey Williams, this guy is also a scorer as proven by that shot.
He had no other choice there but to launch a shot from the parking lot because shot clock was winding down. And a deadlock right now at 25 points apiece. Good second quarter run for TNT.
They were down by 8 entering the second quarter. Pero natabla na nga nila. Tapos natawagan pa ng offensive foul si Junmar Fajardo and that's his third. You know, this shot by Mikey Williams is absolutely incredible, but parang napatunayan niya na rin talaga eh. Nakaya niya yung mga yan. Ito coach yung foul kay Junmar.
Aided by a little acting job, of course, from the veteran Kelly Williams. Junmar Fajardo pleading his case to our referee, saying that it was just a simple nudge, but it will still be an offensive foul. Fajardo, pangatlo na nga ba yun? Naku.
He had 2 nung first quarter. Tapos, eto nga eh, halos kakalapas pa lang natin ng 8 minutes in the second. And iniwan siya ni Coach Leo. He's still on the floor. Tapos si Troy naman nakakuha ng foul mula kay Arwin.
So just a fishing expedition that time. Troy Rosario trying to post up Arwin Santos and getting a foul. That is allowed in the PBA, but in the NBA it will not be as lenient as how they called games in the previous season. Yung ganyang dilihensya, hindi nabibigay agad yan sa offensive player.
Tsaka dun sa, if we're talking about NBA coach, kapag ka ganun, no free throws eh, no? Side inbounds yun. By the way, we would also like to thank Mount Carmel, our hospital partner in Pampanga, Our Lady of Mount Carmel Medical Center.
And I would also like to greet Governor Robert Non, a belated happy birthday. It was actually his birthday last Friday. So it was a good gift because you were able to extend this to a Game 7 and now he's watching the game.
Ang gusto raw ni Sir Rob, imbis na in advance, ito raw yung gusto niyang regalo ngayon daw. But happy birthday, sir. Yung depensa coach ng TNT visibly, it upped its intensity dito sa second quarter at hindi na ganun kadali for SMB. Not just to take outside shots, pero pati yung sa ilalim, masikip din ng TNT Tropang Giga. Warningan yung bench ng TNT. Romeo with 8 seconds left. Napakagat si Castro, napatalikod si Era, but couldn't get the jumper. TNT naman off to their side. Castro trying to get away, and he does. That's the reason why he's called the blur.
And you look at the game of TNT, a stark difference from their performance in the first quarter. They're forcing a lot of missed shots. They're pushing the ball to increase the tempo. They feel like if it's a quick game, then it is to their advantage.
12-2 yung run, or actually 14-2 yung run ng TNT to start. They have taken a 4-point lead. Marshall Laster hindi pa nakakascore dito and we showed the numbers, coach. You walked us through it, yung mga ambag ni Marshall when they win.
Yes, 13 points per ball game in the 3 wins that they've collected so far, and it goes down to a very low number pag natatalo. To be exact, 6 points per game lamang nung natalo itong San Miguel.
Romeo, just always in control of that basketball. Naging street ball move na nga, coach, yung dribble niya doon.
How can that be? Na yun eh, yung degree of difficulty, yung ganong kahirap na tira, dapat yung plus ano yun eh, 4 points because of degree of difficulty. Ang hirap nun.
At saka hindi po sadya yun, yung street ball move na yun, they call it slip it. Nakita natin na a former TNT player dati si Eloy Poligrates, ginagawa yun eh. Pero yung kay Terence nga, hindi sadya, nadulas lang. Able to control that basketball, and here he is again. I know he likes this matchup kontra yung kanyang matalik na kaibigan in RR Pugoy. Pero pag ganito, coach, wala mo ng kaibigan eh, no?
Oh, for sure. And look at that. The Pugoy is not an easy defender to score against, but just so wily. Again, his ability to just dribble his way out of trouble. Look at his handles here. A lot of crossover, and this is a tough move. The last one was simply incredible. Kumbaga, he just created it on the fly.
Yeah. Kumbaga nag-improvise lang just to find a way to provide for San Miguel dahil matagal-tagal na nga silang hindi nakascore before that one. On that shot mula kay Perez. Reyes, bigay muna kay Rosario. Hinihingi ni Pugoy kontra kay CJ. RR backing down. One of his favorite shots, yung turnaround. Does not work that time. Tautua could not save the possession for SMB.
So getting another crack at the basket is TNT. Both teams are struggling from the field. SMB only 32% at 10 out of 31. TNT even worse at 27% on a 9 out of 33 shooting from the field.
You're right, Coach. And if you take a look at the numbers right now, you'll see that the lead that TNT is enjoying is pretty much actually coming from the free throw line. They're 9 out of 10. Samantalang SMB 2 out of 3 lang.
But there's a stark difference right now attacking the boards. Is Tropang Giga. They now have 8 second chance points compared to only 2 from San Miguel, and Mo Tautua defended properly there. And look at the up-tempo basketball, the brand of game that TNT wants to take advantage of in this ball game.
Prior to the start of this tournament, narinig natin straight from the TNT camp yung label nila to that kind of basketball. Coach Chot actually said it, yung bara-bara basketball. Sometimes it looks erratic, but of course there's a system to it, and we see it working to perfection right now for TNT.
Yes, and just finding exactly the kind of advantage that they have against this San Miguel team. Especially if Mo Tautua is not in his usual element. He was defended properly, could not get his game going. Only 2 points so far for Big Mo. And even Junmar Fajardo, not a lot of mileage for him offensively as well. Only 2 points to show. And alam naman natin yan na itong si Junmar Fajardo needs a lot of touches. He has only taken 3 attempts so far, and he was only 1 out of 3. But good thing at least meron na siyang 3 assists.
But if you're Coach Leo, very good at this point. Still 4.5 minutes left in the first half na yung dalawang bigs mo combining for just 4 points on another combined 1 for 5 from the field.
No, it's too early to get worried, but you still want them to get going. Because the reason why they don't generate as much points as possible is because getting enough touches. Hindi bumabalik yung bola sa kanila, probably on a repost, on a deep seal, because nag-rely itong players sa kanilang 3-point shooting na tumama naman nung first few minutes ng first quarter. Now, ayan na. Ito na yung kanilang discipline direction. Get the ball in the hands of Junmar Fajardo, and unfortunately again, it did not return to him on a rebound.
At yung tres din kasi nila it has stopped falling at least here sa second quarter. Because again, San Miguel was 5 of 11 nung first quarter. Pagdating dito sa second, 0 out of 5. Kaya TNT na rin, up by 4. But Junmar, that is incredible speed, incredible skill. Fajardo exploding to the baseline.
And that is a good read on defense. Junmar Fajardo again. He dropped towards the baseline. Look at Kelly Williams, hoping that the defense, at least a help side stance from one of his perimeter teammates. That time it was supposed to be Ryan Reyes, who will be offering the help, especially if the baseline is open. Because that baseline can be an ally if you're defending, because you can actually be 3 there. The original defender, the help side man, and the baseline. But unfortunately, there was none for TNT. And that is an easy basket for Junmar Fajardo. Only his 4th point, but he misses his bonus free throw.
Coach, alam natin napaka-humble nito ni Junmar, no? As a 6-time MVP. We're actually seeing a lot more emotion from him dito sa seryeng to, no?
Medyo nagre-react rin siya sa mga calls ng refs. Ganun ka-importante itong laban na ito.
The long wait is over. Relive the excitement once more as the 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021 returns this November 7 to 30. Tumakbo tungo sa tagumpay at kasaysayan sa ang panig ka man ng mundo. Tayo na magsama-sama at makisaya sa 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021. Registration is from October 4 to 30, 2021 and visit www.run711.com for more details. Ito yung nakita natin kanina, Coach. Nahirapan talaga si Motao Tua. Napasagin yung depensa ng SMB, ng TNT rather, and it looks like he hurt his leg pa. We saw it iced immediately, tapos in-stretch siya as Williams hits another one.
So San Miguel at the end of the first quarter with an 8-point advantage, but a good fight back by TNT. They've now erected a 4-point advantage with less than 3 minutes remaining. Now they're making sure that the reason that they're so successful in the All-Filipino Conference is what they're doing again of Junmar, but still not enough touches for the big man. As soon as he brings the ball out, hindi na nakakabalik sa kanya yung bola, at yun naman ang ginagawa ng TNT. TNT 0 threes in the first 12 minutes, but they've exploded here in the second, erecting their biggest lead in the ball game at 7.
Pangatlong tres na yan ng TNT dito sa
a steady three-point shooter. So for Lassiter, he does not have to overhelp. It is just a fake help, then go back, because you know that Ryan Reyes is capable of shooting at a consistent basis from the three-point range. Remember, he had 6 points in Game 6.
Tsaka kung merong isang pwesto lang, Coach, sa tres na gusto ni Ryan Reyes, yung corner talaga yun eh. Ito si Chris Ross. He hit one earlier, decides to attack na naman itong si Ryan. Now earlier he went down dahil nadulas siya, and what seemed like it could have been a hyperextension. The good news is bumalik. Nakabalik agad si Ryan, but yun niya mukhang tinamaan on that screen or that attack rather. Dun nga tama on the screen that Marshall set.
An illegal variety offensive foul was called against Marshall Lassiter. He again could not get his usual rhythm going. Not a good flow, not enough touches. He has yet to score in the ball game.
And you know, for Lassiter, pangatlong so foul trouble brewing up a little bit more on the San Miguel side. Pareho na sila ni Junmar, may tig-tatlo. And Jason Castro just starting to work here.
And we've mentioned this earlier at the top of our coverage. TNT will milk the ball screen play involving Junmar Fajardo. And then the last 3 possessions where they're generating so many points.
A foul is whistled on TNT here, and as we have this dead ball, Coach Archie, gusto ko lang i-highlight so far. Because I'm taking a look at the box scores here. Ito yung atake ni Castro muna. And Jason, he's so good there. You know, getting to his spot while surveying the floor, tapos hindi mo alam kung anong gagawin niya eh. He drops in 2 points. But there is one man leading TNT right now in the game sa points, rebounds, and assists. And it's Kelly Williams.
So kitang-kita mo talaga, he's ready to play, and he knows exactly what he wants to do. On defense, he understands that what he needs to do is push out Junmar Fajardo, play defense before Junmar gets to his comfort spot. On offense, the moment he gets the ball at the top of the key, just go downstream strongly and get Junmar Fajardo in foul trouble. A different point of attack for San Miguel right now. Chris Ross, we've seen him time and again post up smaller defenders. He shot so well at the start of the ball game, including a 3-pointer, and now he adds another basket for a total of 6 points.
Meron na rin 6 na rebound yan si Chris Ross. We know he's one of the better rebounding guards in the league. And of course, celebrated as one of the best defenders in PBA history.
He misses his second free throw. And such an enormous run here for TNT. They've now scored a total of 25 points with a lot of minutes left here in the second, while only limited just 9.
And you know, Coach, yung isang nabanggit mong statistic kanina, yung points from turnovers, it's being led by TNT right now, 8-0. Tapos yun yung tres nila, that's already their 4th in the second quarter. Things are clicking for the Tropa right now. Makabawi kaya ang San Miguel? They're looking for Fajardo. Repost para kay Junmar. Over Kelly, supalpal ni Kelly Williams. What an effort so far for Machine Gun Kelly dito sa first half. 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. Or check that, it's just 1 assist. Mikey Williams pala. Yung may 3 assists as Ross gets it. Pinadaan dun sa likod ng isang tropa.
Oh, just oozing with so much basketball intelligence. Itong si Chris Ross. Defense was not ready. They've passing lanes. Ang ginawa niya, pinatama niya sa likod ng kanyang kalaban.
Of Chris Ross. Tapos dito naman, naagawan ni Perez. Si Kelly Williams. Perez asking for continuation. It's waved off by our referees. Pero penalty na rin itong TNT. So that's gonna mean 2 free throws para kay CJ. You mentioned it, Coach RG. Grabe itong second quarter rally ng TNT. So far, they've outscored San Miguel by 16 points dito sa second quarter alone.
And the other thing, aside from the inability of San Miguel to shoot at a very high clip from the field, only 32% so far, 13 out of 40. Yung kanila ring numerous turnovers, they have 8 turnovers already compared to 3 nitong TNT. Wow, a surprise package here being employed by Coach Leo Austria. First time to see action in this ball game, and not enough minutes itong si James Sena, pero kailangan pagpahingahin niya muna si Junmar Fajardo.
In a normal situation, si Mo Tautuay papasok, but we saw Mo earlier, mukhang may iniinda nga dun sa kanyang leg. So see how that story develops para sa SMB, and dun sa atake ni Rosario, he was challenged by Perez and Santos. A foul is whistled on SMB. Mukhang medyo nasaktan pa itong si CJ Perez. At first, he was just checking his foot, but mukhang malala na yung nararamdamang sakit ni CJ, eventually falling flat to the ground.
Yeah, he eventually fell down, ano? Let's take a look at it once again. Was it on the landing? Ayun! Doon sa bahagyang leg ng kanyang kakampi na si Arwin Santos.
We saw CJ kanina nag-back-to-back threes in the first quarter. In a Game 7, when everything is at stake, lalo na 1 win away from the finals ka, Coach RG, mas lalo, syempre, you never want to see any player get hurt. Kahit pa, syempre, yung the few minutes that a very important player is not available to be on the floor, posibleng makasakit na sa team mo.
And this is actually also a treat to all basketball aficionados. You want the best players to play in a Game 7 situation. Even if you're rooting for San Miguel or for TNT, or you're not rooting for any of these two teams, you want to see fantastic basketball, and you want no less than the best players to perform at their very finest.
Sigurado, Coach, marami ring nakatutok ng mga fans ng Magnolia. No, inaabangan kung sino makakalaban ng Hot Shots in the finals. Well, congratulations to the Hot Shots on that series win over Meralco, and also we tip our hats off to the Bolts. No, magandang seryang binigay doon. It was just a glorious run for Meralco as well in this conference.
That is a very good point. They ended the elimination round as the second best basketball team behind TNT. They had a lot of injuries, a lot of health protocols also among their players, but still they were able to fight up to Game 6 against the wanted Magnolia Hot Shots team.
Coach, ang ganda nung nagawa ng TNT dito. They forced Romeo to the baseline. So nakakuha pa sila ng 5.7 seconds for one last attempt. Kaya si Coach Chut nagmadaling ibinalik si Mikey Williams at Jason Castro for one last attack here in the second.
Yes, still enough time for TNT to score in this possession. The biggest test, of course, as far as TNT is concerned, Mikey Williams will perform. He's been so good so far, 12.8 points per game. Look at his stat line, 4.5 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 31% from the field as well as from the three-point area. From this rookie, but you gotta remember, he is just a rookie. So meron pa rin siya mga learning curve, marami pang adjustments. Having a great, spectacular rookie confidence. Yan talagang masasabi nating as good as advertised.
In his very first conference in the PBA Game 7 agad ang inaabot ni Mikey Williams. And he's playing well so far. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Dadagdagan pa ba? Muntik na, but that shot did not fall. There will be half a second left for San Miguel to try and come up with something. Pero yun yung ganda ng performance ni Mikey Williams. Well, of course, no, marami nagsasabi, hindi na rin naman ganun ka-rookie siya. Dahil daw dami ng pinagdaanan. He's 29 years old as well. Pesuman, one last try, no good. But still, you gotta be impressed. Through all the adjustments that he had to make entering the PBA, Mikey Williams has been incredible for TNT. And this player of the half is brought to you by Firefly, the trusted lighting partner of the PBA. Siyempre, Mikey Williams, coach.
Oh yes, 10 points. 4 out of 10 from the field for 40%. And he's doing everything. 4 rebounds plus 3 assists. And this, I thought, was a good shot because the shot clock was winding down. He's also able to read the ball screen play really well, involving Julmar Farden. Just a slight opening is enough for him to launch his perimeter jumper.
24 minutes in dito sa Game 7 of the semifinals. Lamang ang TNT Tropang Giga kontra sa San Miguel Beermen, 45-36. Shoutout TV5. Dapat nakapublic ang inyong post at huwag rin kalimutang itag ang social media accounts ng TV5. Bihira man tayo magkita-kita ngayon, siguradong magsasama-sama rin tayo soon. Kaya join us sa Christmas shoutout ng TV5 dahil atin ang Paskong ito, kapatid. Start of the third quarter na tayo. Yung isa pang important to note, Coach RG, is that heading into the third quarter, usually yung TNT yung kumakapana sa foul trouble dito, yung bigs nila. But Junmar Fajardo has 3 fouls. Marshall Lassiter, Arwin Santos, parehong 3 fouls din.
Again, the idea of Kelly Williams to attack Junmar Fajardo, especially from the outside, it gave them a lot of not only mileage, but also high percentage points. At ito, forced turnover once again, and what a shot. Wow, Ryan Reyes dribbled the length of the court, could not see an open teammate, and instead went on the other side for his first 2 points in the third quarter.
Yung SMD, Coach, pagdating ng playoffs, bumalik ulit sila, di ba, dun sa starting lineup na yung Fab Five. Come to think of it, itong TNT, towards the end of the series, bumalik din kay Kelly Williams and kay Ryan Reyes. It's suddenly about the veterans who know how to win, know how to produce at this level, and have proven so in many years already. Yun yan, that was the stop. He goes on to score.
And what he has shown here in this clip is his ability to be a two-way player. He was the one who blocked the shot. He was the one who dribbled all the way for his very tough shot. But you also have to remember, they were able to win a lot of championships with TNT. But they started in the PBA, giving Santa Lucia a championship in 2008.
That's right.
That was also a Game 7 victory when they won. I couldn't forget that. You know why? Because that was against my team.
Okay, so that's why talaga. Alam mo yung detalye, coach, eh, no?
Hindi ko makalimutan yan.
Yung pala yung nagdala ng memory kay Coach RG. But, you know, I'm sure that again.
And what is so amazing, Jot, is it's already 2021. And they're still playing well. While I have been retired for 7 years already.
You know, Kelly Williams, just the way that he takes care of his body. You see him sa mga IG posts niya, no, working out. And di ba yung mga quotes nga nila ni Coach Chot? Coach Chot saying that Kelly was his first call that he made when he was offered to return as the coach of TNT. Well, Coach dito, si Junmar Fajardo, he's looking...
It's a totally different attack now for San Miguel. They're going back to their roots. They're going back to, again, what brought them to where they are at this point and what gave them a lot of championships. And that is make sure that Junmar Fajardo gets his touches. Ganun lang kasimple itong game plan ng San Miguel here in the second half.
That's gonna be a smart foul na binigay ni Jason Castro. Si Junmar nauuna na doon and he had a beeline to the basket kaya pinigilan agad ni Castro. The thing about these two teams, kayang-kaya nilang massive run in a split second. And this could be something that sparks that rally for SMB. Kaya TNT starting to become aware right now. Ball with Junmar. Kita mo yung respeto ng depensa ng TNT. Santos. Pull up, no. Ross picks up the board. Iniwan kay Arwin. Junmar naman ang pupulot and he's fouled. Junmar very frustrated, no? Dun sa what he has felt has been mga fouls that weren't called on him.
Yes, he's making his presence felt also. Every now and then questioning the non-calls, but the last one was a personal foul against a Tropang Giga player.
So Junmar at the line. Yun nga lang, hindi rin gaano nahulog yung mga free throws niya. Just 1 of 3 for the 6-time MVP. 1 of 4 now. We've known Junmar to be a decent free throw shooter. Pero yung struggles niya from the line, coach, they stemmed from Game 6.
And that is why, if you're San Miguel, you want to make sure that Junmar gets his rhythm going. Because he is such a rhythm player also, that when he gets his touches, he will get his flow. Now, when he gets his flow in his rhythm, kasama dyan yung kanyang free throw shooting. A miserable shooting performance from the free throw line for Junmar in today's game.
Yeah, Fajardo, no, just one. Din siya ng Game 6. Williams couldn't get that. Rosario mistimed his jump. Wala yung nahabol ng San Miguel. 47-39 is the lead of TNT. Fajardo, Williams ang nakabantay. Junmar, the hook shot. Junmar, his shot rolls out. Williams picks up the board. Mikey to Ryan Reyes, defies the defense of Ross.
Wow, just a tough penetration. Junmar again missing a point blank jumper. And we saw TNT push the ball again and Ryan Reyes. In the defense ni Chris Ross.
Ryan himself, diba, regarded as one of the best perimeter defenders din in the PBA. Multi-time awardee of the Defensive Player of the Year, and Reyes will foul Santos on that attempt. Arwind has struggled from the field. Coach RG, 1 of 11, and that's another guy that the SMB wants to get going. This was the play earlier. Solid defense from Ross, pero hindi lang mapigilan si Ryan Reyes.
And if you are San Miguel and you're Chris Ross, he was there, the first man down to defend the transition. What about the other players? It was a 2-on-1 advantage for TNT. And for San Miguel, how much they want this one? They have to start defending and limit the fast break points of TNT if they want to get back in this ballgame.
Well, Arwin gets his free throw to fall in. 4 points para kay Santos. Pero yun nga, even from the field, he has 7 rebounds as well. Here's Mikey Williams. Atras, hinahanap si Williams sa ilalim. 49-41 lamang ang TNT. Fall away James. Mikey Williams misses. Ross ang kumuha. Here's Lassiter. Bigay kay Cabagnot. Corner 3, no good. Battle for the board. Outside, and it's last touch on Kelly Williams. So, mananatili yung possession sa San Miguel.
So what you're seeing also is Junmar is a little bit tuckered out here because TNT is forcing him to defend too. On one-on-one defense and also pick-and-roll defense. And on the other side, look at San Miguel. Getting the ball in the hands of Junmar. The last one again, he was unable to finish a basket.
So what TNT bigs have done is that they just put a hand in the body on time. Minte si Castro. Wow, the ball lands in the hands of Mikey Williams. Bogoy asking for it. Gusto niyang postehan si Cabagnot, but a foul was given by Alex.
And you're Pugoy, you're just trying to get scoring options. Only 4 points so far for Pugoy. And we know exactly his contribution here in his team, especially in the games that they've won. That's over 22 points per ball game. But in the games that they drop, it goes down to as low as 9 points per game. So nagiging barometer din itong si Pugoy sa wins or losses ng Tropang Giga.
Pero yung surprising din sa akin, Coach, yung other stats, yan eh. Whether in wins or losses, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. But here, wala pa. Only points up on the board for him, but he adds 2 more to his point total. Only a second field goal, pero the important thing about it is he gives TNT a double-digit lead. Fajardo na naman, binalikan ng San Miguel. Eram ang nakaharang sa kanya. Junmar inaatrasan. There's the help from Rosario. And Fajardo draws a foul there.
But the offense of San Miguel is very, very predictable at this point. But still, if Coach Leo Austria, it is still the offense that they want to go to. While R.R. Pugoy, we've been talking about his listless performance, especially nung Game 4. He only had 2 points. Game 6, he only had 6 points. And this is a guy who actually was averaging over 24 points or close to over 20 points per game in the first 3 games of the series.
That's right. He even had a 26-point outburst in Game 3. And I think heading into this bubble, Coach RG, marami ring nag-expect sa maybe a similar offensive explosion from Pugoy katulad nung last year in Clark because he kept going for career highs, di ba? 40-plus point games, but iba na rin kasi nga yung look ng backcourt ng TNT with the insertion, of course, of Mikey Williams.
That's right. And Junmar Fajardo finally nailing his second free throw is now 2 out of 7 from the free throw line.
Erratic attempt mula kay Mikey Williams, Rosario, or Ross, that is, though, who draws a foul on Pugoy, pero bumagsak din si Castro and si Eram din, iniinda yung banggaan nga nila ni Ross.
Now, this is an interesting development, especially if you're TNT, because you're up by 9 points, and look at that, a loose ball foul will be called against Jason Castro. But because of San Miguel's single-mindedness to get the ball in the hands of Junmar, penalty situation na itong TNT.
Coach Archie, ito yung binanggit mo kanina. Oh, see the numbers of Pugoy. Games 1, 3, and 5. Pag nananalo, 22.3 points. Doon sa talo nila in 2, 4, and 6, 9.7
Oh,
lang.
just a huge letdown. Even his field goal shooting from 46% to 31%. 3-point shooting, 36%, down to 25%. And even his free throw attempts, napakababa yan. It is just unbelievable how a guy who, for example, scored 23, 21, and 26 in the first 3 games, all of a sudden finished with 2 points in Game 4 on a 1 out of 10 shooting. He came out strong in Game 5, finished the game with 18 points, but again, dropped to 6 points in Game 6 on a 2 out of 10 shooting. So kailangan ngayon is consistency. That is what RR Pugoy has to do here in his career in the PBA. You cannot have this kind of an output, especially if you are a resident superstar in your team.
And we know that Pugoy has truly been a source of points para sa TNT. Actually, Coach, in elimination round and even the quarterfinals, his usual 3-point shooting wasn't really there. His numbers were down in terms of averages. Kaya nung nagkaroon siya ng magandang performance in games 1, 2, and 3 of this series, everyone was like, look at SMB just looking for Fajardo time and time again. And ito yung sinasabi mo, Coach, ngayon. Nilabas muna ni Junmar and that ball found its way back to him.
The initial touch of Junmar Fajardo, chances are defense will be ready. Now he looked at the pass on the opposite end, but the ball still traveled all the way for him to get a repost. If you're defending, that's hard to stop. You have no other alternative but to foul, and that was exactly the foul given and called against Poy Eram. The next order of battle for Junmar is to shoot consistently from the free throw line. He is obviously the anchor on both ends for this team. In Game 6, 11 points, 14 rebounds. Wow, this is just so filled up. 5 out of 9 from the field, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. In 41 minutes, he was really doing everything. And that, if I'm not mistaken, was his 14th double-double performance in the conference. He leads the league in most double-doubles.
And hindi na natin nakikita siguro yung dati. Pag 2020 game, parang hindi pa siya good game talaga kay Junmar because he would get 30 and 22. But that's not what's needed of him anymore para dito sa SMB na to. But man, that was a tough shot that Pugoy just hit.
He is just in his usual element in today's game. And you know that he's so focused. And look at San Miguel again, just walking the ball down. Looking for Junmar Fajardo. This time around, it was pretty much different because it's a high-low option. And Junmar Fajardo just moving well and getting an easy basket.
Pugoy with a crossover. Iniwan si Perez. Doesn't get the layup, pero 2 free throws para kay RR.
Now, the other challenge in the mind of Coach Leo Ostre is obviously having a hard time containing the one-on-one players of TNT. Will he go to his own defense? Now, we take a look at, again, the difference between the performance of Junmar Fajardo and the rest of the San Miguel Beermen compared to the first 2 quarters. They were not looking for Junmar Fajardo, and now, almost exclusively, Junmar always gets touches every time they execute their offense. Slowed down was Mo Tautua because of an injury. Kaya napasok nga si James Sena kanina sinubukan. Pero ngayon, nagtanggal na ng benda si Mo. Titignan natin kung bibigyan pa siya ng opportunity to play.
At this point, you can easily tell na kailanganin talaga ng San Miguel si Tautua at some point in this game. Although, you did mention, pinupuntahan nga nila si Junmar. Junmar has 5 of the 11 points of San Miguel dito sa third quarter. Ball with him again. Junmar going up. Yung hook shot niya na yun, Coach, that usually falls in. Pero dito, so far in the third, it has been limited.
And another injury. And still sprawled on the floor. He was clutching It was injured already, his ankle. And wow, we've seen this scene time and again in this game. We know that the players are fatigued already. Pag medyo pagod ka, mukhang dumadami yung mga injuries. But let us take a look at it once again. Oh no, the same foot.
Yeah, that's the same
Yes.
foot that twisted back in the second quarter. Not mistaken. Parang si Arwind na naman yata yung naapakan niya dito.
The first one was Arwind, but hindi masyadong klaro eh. I saw a white shirt.
Okay. And nonetheless, you know, yung matwist yung ankle full enough, but the same ankle twice in the same game. You can understand kung bakit talagang grimacing in pain etong si CJ. This is a good sign that he's able to walk back to no assistance. But at the same time, hindi mo rin alam kung at this point, di natin sigurado kung kakayanin pa ni CJ. But you on his face.
You know, in his mind, this is his first playoff appearance. We've seen him perform individually in his former team, but now he's playing within a team concept. His numbers from the points department down compared to his previous seasons in the PBA. But ang importante dyan is ang ganda ng value dito sa kanyang bagong koponan.
We saw the numbers of Marshall Lassiter. Kung si Pogoy yung sinabi nating barometer sa TNT, pinakita rin natin yung kay Lassiter kanina. Ito nga si Pogoy gumagawa. Marshall still scoreless dito sa Game 7.
Pogoy is just so determined.
Look at this, coach. Dalawa na nga yung sumalubong sa kanya. Romeo and Lassiter are on that fall away. Just too good. Hindi mapigilan. And Pogoy nagbigay na ngayon ng 11-point lead para sa Tropang Giga.
Kung meron panalo sa kwento ng liga, todo suporta ang pinidita, wala nang iba pagka tayo ang bida.
TNT Tropang Giga, malaki na yung kanilang lamang, and it's because of this man, R.R. Pogoy. We just talked about his performance and production in wins and in losses. Mukhang hinahabol niya, coach, yung usual production niya in wins.
Napakababa naman talaga eh. 9.6 points per game in games 2, 4, and 6. And it goes all the way to 22.3 points per game when they won in games 1, 3, and 5.
Here is San Miguel, though, sinusubukang umabol dito, but it's a miss from Ross, who was open on the... Now, si Pogoy, in the first half, 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field. Here in the third quarter, coach, 7 points and a perfect 3 for 3. Well, that's his first miss. A little over 3 minutes na iiwan sa ating third. Ross attacking on the reverse layup, he scores.
A little variety on the point of attack of San Miguel. There was no Junmar Fajardo. He did not plug the paint. He was not posting up. And for Chris Ross, he was just so strong and determined to... Ito yung sinasabi natin, hindi kasi makahinto itong San Miguel sa man-to-man defense. Now they're on a 2-3. Let us see. They were able to foil the first one. San Miguel's defense was productive on that one.
Lassiter will try from deep. Mintes, Fajardo naman makakuha ng rebound. Junmar against Eram. They're giving him some space. Junmar. A little too deep, yeah. And si Romeo medyo may kinaka pa rin dun sa kanyang left calf. And Mikey Williams was left open there. That's a three-pointer para sa TNT.
Just given the go signal and the license to shoot every time in transition. And ito, nako, may hinahawakan.
It looks like baka cramps, no? They're stretching it, which is what you usually do when you're suffering from cramps dun sa area. Let's remember na yung pace ng semifinals din in this entire conference since they entered that semi-bubble, it has been frenetic din. Junmar, and just out of nowhere, kakapana agad si Terence Coach dun sa kanyang left calf and asking for a sub.
Yes. And we've also seen all throughout this conference, itong si Terence Romeo rather, was sidelined because of series of injuries. Ang nakakatakot kasi dyan sa may calf area na yan, akala mo cramps, pero kakapain mo kung may tumunog. So, yun na ngayon ang ina-assess ng medical team ng San Miguel.
And if that's the case, you worry about an Achilles, maybe?
No, ano lang, baka lang may nag-pop na muscle sa calf area, which is obviously more serious than your typical cramps.
Look at Junmar picking up after his teammate. No? Because Arvin Santos nakukuha yung touch niya dito, 1 out of 12 from the field, pero Junmar, she's encouraging the former MVP. San Miguel trying to get a boost from their bench. Ito si Santos, atake na naman. Arvin finally buying a bucket.
He will not stop attacking. That is the pedigree of itong si Arvin Santos. Now 2 out of 13, but is his shooting from the outside, especially from the three-point area. 0 out of 6 in today's ball game for Arvin Santos.
Pugoy drops, Pesumal hitting on the three.
And look at the eyes of our Pugoy. He is not going to be denied his exemplary performance here in this game 7. Big-time players will definitely perform, and Chris Ross, we've seen him time and again when the team needs it badly, and that is exactly what he's doing now here in the third quarter.
Absolutely correct. Kapag depensa lang yung he's happy to
lang.
just do that. Pero pag kailangan din ng opensa, kaya din talagang ibigay yun ni Chris Ross. That's what he's doing right now. But they need a stop. Heruela. Wow, that's a big three for Brian Heruela.
And their games are in TNT. All the players that are fielded in, maganda yung kanilang gising. And ito yun, eksakto. His first 3 points in the game.
Ross could not get that fall in, pero pupunta pa rin siya sa free throw line for a pair of freebies. This was that great bailout and kick-out pass from Pugoy. And Heruela just knowing just what to do with that basketball. Castro babalik na naman. The long wait is over. Relive the excitement once more as the 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021 returns this November 7 to 30. Tumakbo tungo sa tagumpay at kasaysayan sa ang panig ka man ng mundo. Tayo na magsama-sama at makasaya sa 7-Eleven Virtual Run 20. Registration is from October 4 to 30, 2021. Visit www.run711.com for more details. Itong SMB nakakuha ng extra possession and they draw foul again on Rosario. Kanina pa penalty coach itong TNT, so that's gonna be Arvin Santos at the free throw line.
And TNT should learn their lesson, especially in game 2. Entering the fourth quarter, they were comfortably on top by 15 points, but they allowed San Miguel to claw back. But the biggest issue right now for San Miguel is their inability to knock down their free throws. They're now 13 out of 24, so that's barely over 50%.
It's definitely hurt them. Lalo na si Junmar, he's been to the line 9 times or has taken 9 shots from there, pero 3 lang yung naipasok. Arvin Santos split that last trip. San Miguel meron pang foul to give, so that's what Alex Cabagon gave there. 1.6 seconds para sa TNT to come up with something here. Pogoy. Had a good line, but it does not go in. But still, another masterful performance in the third quarter para sa Tropang Giga. They go up by 12. More minutes remain in this sudden death Game 7 between San Miguel and TNT.
Bayanihan natin ang sandata mismo. Magkasama tayo sa laro, bawat isa ay kasali. Tagumpay ay lalo mas matamis. Bawat isa kasama, kapwa magkakampi. Simbolo ng isang barkada at kumpiyansa. Tropa tayong magkatabi. Ang plataforma sa ating gitna. Kung meron panalo sa kwento ng liga, todo suporta at dinidikta. Wala nang iba pagka tayo ang bida.
What a performance it has been for him. And this is a guy who carries a great resume. Tingnan nyo naman, UAAP champion, champion din ng PBA D-League, and of course has been with Gilas Pilipinas in a number of competitions. At doon na po yung kumpiyansa niya eh. You talk about Pogoy in college. It wasn't until his later years talaga coach sa FEU na nagkaroon ng pangalan si Pogoy. And of course, with Gilas Pilipinas, and he has been such a big factor sa TNT.
He has exceeded expectations, probably even his own expectations. Maraming mga pagkakataon na nagsisimula siya sa kanyang karera. Gusto niya sana mag-give up sa basketball. Good thing, hindi. While itong San Miguel, we're looking at the bench right now. Nako. So focus again, Junmar Fajardo. This time around, will start the fourth quarter with a technical foul.
And you can really see the frustration dito kay Junmar Fajardo. Again, you know, syempre sa mga manlalaro, nakikita naman talaga natin yung mga expressions nila and reactions. But I think this is really the most visual expression of emotions and feelings na nakikita natin kay Junmar. He knows what's at stake. At kahit yung mga maliliit niya na pagkakamaling ganyan, not reporting to the line, he knows that that could really be later down the game.
And good in-between quarters for TNT. They've outscored the Beermen also in the third quarter by 3 points. But now the problem, of course, it is being compounded by the series of injuries that they're facing here in this ball game. We saw CJ Perez down. We also saw Motau handle the ball game after hurting his leg. And pati ngayon itong si Terence Romeo. So bunot pinasok na si Von Pesumal. Tapos napakalamig pa ng laro ni Marshall Lassiter.
And Armin Santos as well. Pesumal balik kay Ross. Ross for the corner 3. Pesumal gets the board. Von on the putback.
And whatever mileage that they can generate from anybody inside the basketball court. And 2 points. Look at the fast break points. It is one of the advantages of TNT entering this ball game. Push the ball and they're scoring here with so much domination.
3 shot clock ng TNT. Castro. That's going to be a dribbling violation. Ito si Jason, meron ding iniinda. As you can see him limping and feeling some pain there. Actually, Coach, maraming mga nasaktan dito sa game na to. Aside from the 3 guys of San Miguel that you mentioned, si Ryan Reyes nga. Poy Eram earlier also got hit a little bit. Si Castro. But they just know how important this game is. Yung masakit din for San Miguel, there has been a number of those makeable looks para kay Fajardo and they just down.
Unbelievable misses by Junmar Fajardo. That was an easy makeable shot for him, but by a basket.
Reyes could not handle that basketball.
Now San Miguel,
Coach.
San Miguel will look at this last 10 minutes and change in the fourth quarter, trying to come back from a 13-point deficit. they've been going exclusively to Junmar, but Junmar has not delivered. But the other problem for them is their inability to shoot from the three-point range. 5 out of 11 in the first quarter. In the second quarter, 0 out of 8. In the third quarter, 0 out of 7. So ganun kahirap itong dinadaan ng challenges ng San Miguel nung second pati nung third quarter.
And ang daming ang weapons nitong San Miguel, coach. That has been said numerous times about the roster of SMB. Pero sabay-sabay din yung, I guess, mishaps din and also the struggles here. This is what SMB is contesting. Pagkuha ni Junmar, he will be fouled on this attempt. Tapos yung kamay daw ni Eram. I think there should be a goaltending violation.
That's right, that's right. So as bad as San Miguel is playing here in the middle quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, down by 13 points, you know that they can still, and they have the ability to climb back from bigger deficits. So critical itong sitwasyon na to. If it's going to be an end-one play, then an opportunity for San Miguel to even inch in closer.
Yung game 2 na panalo nila, coach, they actually climbed back from a big deficit yung SMB before Marshall hit that game winner at the buzzer. And we did this coverage, the numbers of Marshall in wins and in losses. In wins, he averages 13 a game. In losses, 6 points per game lang. But in wins lang siya. But the most important 2 points were scored to win the game.
Yes, and you talk about bounce back genes in the DNA of San
Out of 9 in this game so far.
And officially a double-double performance once again for Junmar Fajardo. 13 points, 14 rebounds. But look at that free throw shooting. Only 3 out of 9 for 33%.
He does make it.
Sinigurado na.
Actually, coach, pati yung field goal shooting ni Junmar, we're just used to seeing a higher number. He's 4 for 12 from the floor.
That's right, yes.
Heruela for TNT. He's joined by Williams, Eram, Rosario on the floor together with Pugoy. For Tropa, Mikey stopping at the free throw line. Jumper is wet.
Oh, we've seen it time and again. The shot clock is winding down. They're able to massage the shot clock. And in the nick of time, Mikey Williams with a shot for his team.
Balik na naman ng San Miguel kay Fajardo. Where everyone getting ready. Dahil alam nila talaga no, coach, na madodraw ni Junmar yung depensa ng TNT.
Foul on number 13, Brian Heruela. That's his fourth
This time the foul is whistled on Heruela.
2 free throws for Junmar Fajardo.
He likes that matchup. Hindi pa nagpapakita na meron good defensive skills itong si Von Pesumal. So as far as itong si Mikey Williams is concerned, kung hindi number 6 yung bantay niya, aatakihin niya yan.
Pag yung number 6,
Delikado.
tansya muna tayo.
Testing muna yan.
Pero yun, coach, talaga, no? Like even for Ross, he's really taking on the challenge as we check in again with the score at 72-62. TNT up by 10, approaching the 9-minute mark. San Miguel, despite several offensive sequences na nakascore sila, TNT has just maintained this lead.
And another interesting fight this time for Coach Leo Austria. He actually has 4 perimeter players to play alongside Junmar Fajardo. So this was the start that caught Coach Leo off guard because ito rin yung 4 small combination ni Coach Chot and 1 big ng first quarter. So titignan natin kung ano ang magiging nitong 5 manlalaro na ito. But obviously absent in today's game is Marshall Lassiter. He had 19 points in game 6, but still 0 out of 6 and 0 in today's game.
And Mikey Williams, this guy is a tough shot maker. All the way to the right, to the left. Kaya-kaya ni Mikey. Fajardo right at the rim.
And they have to play defense. Yes, they're now scoring. They're going to their bread and butter play, San Miguel. But Mikey Williams is doing much of the damage offensively here in the fourth.
At sa kanya naman pumunta, pero ito nga, number 6 na yung nakabantay sa kanya, coach. So he dishes out to Pagoy, who gets money on the 3.
Just firing on all cylinders. This combination, R.R. Pugoy and Mikey Williams. Ibang klase yung nilalaro nila dito sa quarter na to.
19 points para kay R.R. Pugoy. 13 ang laman. Bardo goes to Pesuman. Extra pass. Perez mula sa labas. Pasok din.
Oh, just like what the doctor ordered. First three-pointer after the first quarter for San Miguel.
Good stuff para kay Pardo at sa San Miguel, but ball will go back to TNT as it sailed out of bounds. And Junmar asking for a bit of rest here. He has tried to do everything para sa San Miguel, but they still are down by 10. San Miguel, pinag-uusapan sila makakahabol because it's now or never for these teams. San Miguel and TNT, it's Game 7 ng kanilang semifinals. Best of 7 series. Junmar Fajardo, the 6-time MVP. Trying to do everything, Coach RG, para sa SMB.
He was really a player that did not dominate in the first two quarters, only 4 points. But in the second half, it was all Junmar Fajardo. His teammates were looking at him extensively. And again, exclusive attack, going to the basket for Junmar. He now has 18 points. And still, yung struggles niya from the free throw line, very obvious in this game.
And that's gonna be a big one. A jam from Troy Rosario. Nawala yung depensa ng San Miguel.
Good execution coming off the timeout. Itong TNT. May confusion itong San Miguel ngayon dahil nga hindi rin sila sanay na apat na perimeter players yung naglalaro. So they're having problems when their communication on switches, which allowed Troy Rosario to have an easy basket.
You know, even some of the usual contributors ng TNT, they did not really get a lot in the first half. Look at this. Bigla na lang pumala si Troy.
That's a switch. It was supposed to be a switch, but hindi nag-uusap si CJ Perez and Chris Ross. Easy basket for Troy.
Troy Rosario helping out TNT at andyan na naman yung consistency lang ni Troy in providing what is needed of him. That's another double-double para sa kanya. 10 points, 10 boards.
Substitution, Mikey Williams for Ryan Reyes.
Ryan Reyes will be subbed out for now.
Parang tinamaan si Junmar.
14 seconds to shoot.
Oh yeah,
Ayun.
that left arm. Lassiter gets scoreless dito sa Game 7. And still, Marshall just not getting anything right now.
Now, Marshall Lassiter just struggling big time here in Game 7.
Coach, we talked about the starter struggles of TNT in Game 6. How about San Miguel here in Game 7? Marshall, 0.0 out of 7. Arwin Santos, 7 points, pero 2 of 13 from the field. Tapos Alex Cabagnot, 3 points lang, 1 of 8 naman from the field.
Ang isa pang alam naman natin yun. Itong si Mo Tautua. If you're San Miguel, you know that Mo Tautua is someone who can score from the bench for San Miguel. 2 points pa lang ngayon at hindi na nga nakabalik nung nasaktan.
Also, Terence Romeo, hindi pa natin nakita after, well, he has, and initially, it looked like they were stretching it out as if it was RG, we won't know for sure until we get word mula dun sa team. Look at Junmar having to work hard, pero tatlo yung sumusubok bumax out. Under 6 minutes to go. Half a quarter to play. Game 7. Sino ang kakalaban sa Magnolia sa finals? Will it be TNT? O makakahanap ba ng paraan makabawi at makahabol ang San Miguel? Eram fires away from deep. Down to 3.
He had so much time looking at his target, and he was so happy after he nailed that three-pointer. The biggest lead in the ball game for TNT at 15.
Ross, supalpal ni Eram. JP could not save it. Pala ng paraan. And Troy with another jam. TNT on a roll. And they are feeling the finals. Unti-unting binuo ang kanilang lamang, and it's at its highest, just as Troy was for the two-handed throwdown. At alam naman natin, Coach RG, plays like these, he can really energize the squad.
And this is the kind of TNT that we know. Totally the team that played in Game 6. Now they're pushing the ball, they're scoring on fast breaks, they're nailing their three-pointers. The problem, look at their big-time scorers in Game 6. Motau Tua, 24 points, only 2 points in today's game. Marshall Lassiter, 19, only 6 points here in today's game. Ay, hindi. Parang wala pa nga itong si Marshall.
Marshall is
zero, actually.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. So, 2 points for Motau Tua and 0 for Lassiter. At yun, nakita naman natin yung clip na yun. Troy Rosario, just a usual day in the office for him.
At ito nga si Fajardo carrying all the weight on his broad shoulders right now. You look at San Miguel and you'll see strong performances so far talaga. Fajardo and Ross, they both have double-doubles in points and rebounds, which is obviously a little bit more impressive kay Ross as a point guard. Pero they need more. And on it, they can get more from a lot more guys on the roster.
At nabanggit din kasi natin yung injury na na-sustain ni Terence Romeo, di ba? Only 9 points. Samantala, ito naman si R. Pugoy. The onslaught continues for the former FU Tamaraw. At tuloy-tuloy yung kayot na talaga. Itong si Junmar Fajardo in answering the basket there. But he had to do it with the outstretched defensive arms of Poyera.
Fajardo. At this point, may 22 points na, 18 in the second half. Pugoy, pull up for 3. This man is unstoppable right now. R. Pugoy, 22 puntos. Right at that mark, Coach RG, that he's averaged in TNT wins in this series.
Yes, we've been emphasizing that. And for our we know that he has played so many years here in the PBA. He was able to get one championship in college, but still searching first PBA trophy. So, ganun siya talaga kadeterminado, and now when it trains, of course, because everything is going right, even Poyera, look at the way he is reacting after he made that basket. An emotional player, but now ang importante is his emotions are in check. Pwede siya mag-celebrate.
Ito yung ginawa ng TNT Tropang Giga. They have gone on a massive run here. And this has just opened up the game Kanina hovering around 10 to 13 points pa lang, Coach RG, yung lamang ng TNT. But then back-to-back threes may lay up pa. Suddenly, they are up by 21 points. We'll be right back. And 22 remaining in this game. 21 points in lamang ng TNT. That is the biggest lead they've enjoyed in this game. At nanganganib na itong San Miguel, coach, in this series and in the Philippine Cup. Santos still not getting anything. Arwin only good for 7 points. Usually he produces more for SMB. And Chargy from the field, si Arwin.
And we've also mentioned this, yung starting lineup ni Coach Chot compared to the starting lineup of San Miguel. Maraming natatakot dito sa starting lineup ng San Miguel, and that is because of the number of championships that they were able to get. Ngayon, they're outscored by the starters of TNT. 71 make it 74 to 47. Led by Pugoy's 27 points, Mikey Williams with 20, Ryan Reyes, first time here with 7 points, pati si Kelly Williams. Now, you look at the scoring of San Miguel. Alam na ito. But aside from Fajardo's 22 points and Chris Ross 15, Arwin Santos with only 7 points, 2 out of shoot. Alex Cabagnot with only 3 points, and Marshall Lassiter still 0 in this game.
A foul given up here. Grabe yung explosion ni RR Pugoy here in the second half. He only had 4 points nung first half. At ang lakas move na to ay hatid sa inyo ng Cobra, the #1 energy drink. Angat ang lakas mo. At binanggit mo ito kanina, coach, nung kumunot na yung noon ni RR, tapos talagang you could see that he was wearing his game face. Aba, hindi na talaga napigilan sa pag-score si RR. At yun na nga, 24 na ang lamang ng TNT Tropang Giga. At ang last 2 minutes ng laro ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Cobra, the #1 energy drink. Angat ang lakas mo, Pugoy. Could not get that one, pero kahit pagbinti siya, nando naman si Eram.
And that is all she wrote for San Miguel. They tried their best to get back to the finals in the conference wherein they have dominated. A fantastic machine in Game 7.
The long wait is over. Relive the excitement once more as the 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021 returns this November 7 to 30. Tumakbo tungo sa tagumpay at kasaysayan sang panig kaman ng mundo. Tayo na magsama-sama at makisaya sa 7-Eleven Virtual Run 2021. Registration is from October 4 to 30, 2021. Please visit www.run711.com for more details. Alam mo, Coach, this series, like you said, you know, it's gonna be too tough to climb back from a 24-point deficit. Pero let's say this, what a series this has been very entertaining between SMB and TNT.
Our coaches, nakita natin no consecutive victories by either team. Yung odd games ang nanalo ron, TNT. Unfortunately, we only play in a best of 7.
Mas
so
maraming
1,
odd games.
correct, 3, 5, and 7, TNT. 2, 4, and 6, San Miguel. But this game 7, ang masakit talaga rito, yung mga injuries na nasuffer ng mga key players kasama sa kanyang rotation. Nung bumagsak si Motaw Tua, hindi na nakabalik. Mahihirapan na talaga sila. Dahil 10 minutes lang inilaro eh. Tapos nagpa-sub si Terence, also injured. Tapos pati itong si CJ Perez, di ba? Nasaktan din. So had to sit down for a couple of minutes. Nasira rin yung momentum ng San Miguel doon.
He also, no? Credit to TNT and how they stepped it up, coach, dun sa second half in particular.
Example to start with, unang-una yung starting lineup ni Coach Chot Reyes. 2 bigs and 3 small. Nag-start siya ng 1 big Kelly Williams, tapos 4 na maliliit na manlalaro. But San Miguel, although they had a very good start in the first quarter, lamang pa nga sila eh. 23-15.
Yeah, by 8 points.
Oo, pero pagdating ng second quarter, ayun na, nagtuloy-tuloy na yung TNT. Hindi nakaahon itong San Miguel.
You know, we praise San Miguel for their hot shooting sa tres nung first. Pero since then, coach, may 3-pointer na lang, 1 out of 19. And that changed everything. And that buzzer makes it official. The stage is set for the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021 Finals. Nanalo na po ang TNT in this series, 97-79. And ang TNT Tropang Giga will advance to the finals to face the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. What a series this was, Coach RG, and it had to come to an end at some point.
Yes, and in the end, it was really the sniping of 2 players, specifically R.R. Pugoy and Mikey Williams. But R.R. Pugoy, after his struggles in Game 6, only 6 points. Look at his performance, 27 big points. He shot 4 out of 6 from the 3-point area and 10 out of 19 from the field. And whoever was in front of him, he was taking everyone to school, either on a perimeter jumper or using ball screens for a small opening. He was so focused in today's game.
Absolutely. He wore that game face and just took everyone to school dun sa depensa ng San Miguel. And as we said, it's been a long tournament. Nagkaroon pa tayo ng 1 month of rest within the tournament. We relocated to Bacolor, but finally, Coach, eto na yung finals. It's gonna be the TNT Tropang Giga against the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. Definitely has the promise of a great series. At sigurado maraming nag-aabang dyan sa matchup na yan. Punta tayo ngayon sa press room.